to the Warzone Amateur Hour Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Warzone Amateur Hour Podcast. This is episode number 78. If you hear a bit of a drip going on in the background, well, it might be your leaky faucet, but it also has to be the Call of Duty community, because this week saw a flurry of leaks that we're going to be diving into. But before we get all to all these rumors, to all this news, I got to talk about what's real, what is right, what I know, and more importantly, what the 10-inch cowboy knows. So with that said, how was your week in the Warzone, cowboy?
Oh, thank you for that interesting introduction. If I sound a little bit different, I got a new microphone, and let's just say it was an upgrade. Tron and I now talking into the same modeled microphone. Real podcasters, 78 episodes in, finally matching our tunes. But I have to say, my week in the Warzone was fun. I had some really fun rounds, also some really shitty rounds. I think I played a bit more in the duos realm this week, which was extremely frustrating at times. But when I got out of that, let's just say the light was a little brighter on the other side with a 3 or 4 man group. So we had some great wins. I feel like I was playing well. I've made a transition to a different AR class now, and I'm excited to talk about that, and I'm sure we'll get to that. But my week was fantastic. How was your week in the Warzone, Tron?
Let's just say this was the first week of the old boot camp for the little Tron Juniors, which freed up a bit of time for old Tron Senior over here to get his feet wet in the Warzone a bit more regularly. And I gotta say, damn, did it feel good. And as you touched on, yeah, it was sweaty. Yeah, we played a fair share of duos and got our ass kicked a fair share amount of times. But on the flip side, the highs were just as high as we've ever wanted. I think I got 2, maybe 3 wins of the week captured, all lined up for our Patreon. Got my loadout locked in with that STG, and that Type 100 made a final kind of meta adjustment there with the unlocking of the Sakura iron sights, which if you're running the Type 100, put them on there. And yeah, just getting dubs. I feel like my grenade game is like hitting a peak, and I actually made a switch that I'm kind of excited to talk about. It wasn't in terms, I guess, of directly weapons, but first I want to turn to you and hear about the new weapon setup that I can feel it in your voice. You're very hyped about this.
Yeah, so it was earlier this week. We were playing Rebirth, and I killed somebody. Yeah, yes, I did. And this guy dropped, what are the skins? It looks like a bunch of rhinestones, like a rhinestone gemstone. You know the skin I'm talking about, right? It's not gold. It's not obsidian.
Yeah, I don't know the exact terminology, but yep.
It's like some like rhinestone cowboy thing. Hey, and basically it was a Cooper carbine, a long range Cooper carbine, and I picked this bad boy up, and it is as much of a laser beam as anything I've ever used. So I built a Cooper carbine long range loadout paired with that short range Type 100. And let me just say, it's been fantastic. I like it more personally than the STG. The STG is great. I'm not going to say that it's not a great weapon. It's to each their own once you get to that level, I think. But for me, the Cooper carbine was fantastic. It also had a different sight on it. It didn't have that, I think it's like the 3 to 6x 4.0, whatever that scope is, that all the ARs have. It had the one that you had, which I think is the 3x. Is it the Axial Arms 3x? Is that what you prefer?
No, that's a Black Ops. I think the 2.5 you're looking at.
Oh, I think it was one of those. It was something you had recommended actually, and I ended up going with that. It doesn't have like the variable zoom or whatever. It's just like a lockdown, certain focal length or whatever you'd say with that. And I loved it, and I've been running that, and it's been fantastic. It's an absolute laser beam for the amateurs out there. There's really not a lot of recoil. It actually took me a little bit of time to get adjusted to the minimal recoil, because when you're shooting, typically, especially a gun that has a lot of the Vargo, the AK-47, you're instinctively, moving that D-pad or that mouse if you're, when you're shooting to kind of like counteract that recoil. In this gun, it took me a minute because it's so low recoil, total laser beam. I'm all about it. Also, I changed my Type 100 to a little bit more of like a hip-fire short-range build, and I've been practicing, shooting before ADSing, and then then while engaged in a gunfight, ADSing during the fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's also helped a ton. So yeah, I'm going Type 100, and I'm going Cooper Carbine, and I'm really happy with it right now.
Yeah, I could feel it. I was there in that game when you got that Cooper, and you were like, this Cooper is built in a way that like it was a step up, it seems like. So we were able to kind of chase down. I think we've given him a lot of credit on here. I think it was Warzone loadout we checked out, kind of read the long range build, and there was just, I think, a few attachments that you tweaked. But it could make that kind of difference. I felt the same switching to those 50 round mags. Like switching one attachment can sometimes quote unquote like unlock a gun for a person. I still don't think they need 10 fucking attachment slots to have those eureka moments, but that's neither here nor there. For me, I made a change this week, which was kind of inspired by a J-God video I saw, which he basically was reviewing like the state of the meta for perks. And nothing was too surprising, but when he got to perk slot 2 and talked about alternatives to overkill, kind of second load, what's the meta for the second loadout, assuming you get the 2 weapons? And he was saying with restock, especially with larger team configurations, you run restock and the snapshot grenades. And if you have a quad team running that, it's like a 25-second refresh rate. So you do the math, you extrapolate that, how many times that's going to be happening. And you as a team can collectively be tossing these fucking snapshot grenades out like you're a paparazzi at a Lady Gaga like surprise dinner date. You know what I mean?
Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just flashing everywhere. So I took the go ahead to try and equip that. I've encouraged my teammates. I've been in a quad where I think 3 of us were running it, and it's kind of a game changer. Even on Rebirth, I know in Caldera they're very much meta the snapshots, but yeah, I'm kind of a snapshot restock bro instead of tempered lately with that second loadout.
Wow, really leaning into the sweat nature right there. I've ran into a couple of teams where you're like engaging with a team, say you're like at Nova or something on Rebirth, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, snapshot, 25 seconds later snapshot, and all of a sudden it's like holy shit, these guys know where I am all the time. It's it's intimidating when you're on the other side of things. When the snapshots are going off, you're just like a little chicken waiting to get just absolutely destroyed by the coyote coming in the yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you're that owl, up in the trees, and you got your sights set, and you're seen, you're found, you're fucking dead to rights. And what do? Do you stand? Then do you move? And after they've buffed these snapshots, like I can testify, it's a game changer when you hit them, even if you don't pursue a guy, just to at least know like, okay, there's 2 guys in the stairwell, let's hold tight here. And you don't have to be precious about them.
Or to know that no one's there. That's another huge thing is you push a building, you're like, holy shit, is somebody here? Throw it out there. At least it's not there. It's almost like, and I just want to keep going with the animal metaphors here. It's like a great white shark looking down from the depths up at the silhouette of a seal trying to make that crossing in South Africa, just waiting to strike, knowing where they are.
That's right. And when the seal looks back.
Do you have another animal one? You got another animal one or?
Well, when the seal looks back, all they see is that great black abyss. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing. Like
it's fear.
You feel the eyes on you, but you can't do nothing about it.
It's pure fear. Maybe I should start running them. I didn't even know if that tactic is going to be executed properly amongst a team. Everyone's got to be doing it, right?
That's right. I think you were the outlier.
I must have been.
So maybe we should have made it a little clear.
Yeah, I mean, no one even told me about that. I'm just over here, shooting off into the ocean, breaking my legs, and you guys are, executing this incredibly well thought out, premeditated. You guys are texting each other on the side. I had no idea what was going on.
All right. Well, that was our week. Some changes, some slight tweaks, getting a little sweatier. Still no paddle controllers, still no craziness, but having some fun with it. But that said, I teased it at the very onset. The bulk of this week, the bulk of this episode is going to be dedicated to some pretty, an avalanche, we can say, of leaks coming from some of which some very reliable leakers. We've talked about, I think we've cited their quote unquote work many times in the past, and as we've said with this King Kong coming true, like the vast majority of these fucking leaks, we got an inside man at Activision. You know what I mean? Like the mole is under the surface of the soil.
Yeah. I hope he listens. And we could be leakers too if we got that information first. We could leak it on the pod, which would be cool, not just like reporting on it.
That's right. Like you want to reach a wide audience, get these bombshells, like, the largest explosive radius. Come on, the Warzone Amateur Hour.
It's a big radius over here.
That's right. But that said, we're just going to kind of run down the main bullet points here. And the first leak claims that loadouts are still going to be a part of Warzone 2. However, they're going to be locked behind what they're calling strongholds, where players are going to need to complete objectives, such as defusing a bomb and killing AI to access their loadout. But this has been disputed, and some people are wondering if it actually might be a leak related to a separate game mode within the new Warzone. But what do you think about this?
Can you get your loadout aside from these unlock things, or is it you just can only get the loadout by doing this?
It's not quite clear yet if there would be like these free loadout drop events.
I mean, I guess it's not too dissimilar to what's happening on Rebirth Island right now, where there's those key cards that you can get at Bio, and then you go to Stronghold, and then you can unlock, you get specialist tokens, you get a free loadout. Like, if it's a part of the game that is like kind of a fun challenge, but you can also get a loadout on your own, and there's like free loadout drops, that's fine. But if that's the only way to do it, that totally sucks, because they would have to have a lot of these to facilitate all the teams being able to get their loadouts individually. And then it's like, what happens? You then get your loadout, say like, you die or you come back and the loadout goes away, which happens frequently, or the gas swallows the loadout. What, like then you can't get another loadout? So I'm hoping there's more to the story than just these being the only loadout centers,
Well, from what I gathered in reading a little more about it, it sounds like a stronghold, as they're calling it, is almost going to be a POI. And they said there would be 30 to 40 across the map.
Oh, wow.
So it would kind of be like, oh, we need a loadout. We got to go find the nearest stronghold at least.
Oh.
That's my take from what I'm reading here on these leaks, kind of, which again are somewhat bare.
Yeah, also, side note, small note, why wouldn't they name this something other than Stronghold? Stronghold's already an area on one of their maps. Could they not think of a new name for this? You know what? It's like, where's the creativity here? They could have come up with any other word that wasn't already used in the game. It's kind of crazy to me, but I guess we can't be picky. I mean, we've talked about the creative nature of these guys, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem it's very vast or dynamic.
Well, semantics aside, fundamentally speaking, this isn't a new leak that I'm like excited about. If anything, I'm like, I don't know about that, because to me, like the fundamental, this is a battle royale we're talking about here. And fundamental to battle royales, I feel like from the get-go, or just the nature of it, is looting. It's like going out, gathering what you need. And I think Warzone did that really well, like with the cash system. Now I'm fine with maybe innovating it and not making it a simple like $10,000 equal buy loadout, but like having to deal with AI and like these side tasks when I'm in the middle of a fucking Warzone. I already got enough, I got the contracts, I got people contracting against fucking me, I got the circle rotating. It's just like, it's too much in my mind.
I agree. Yeah, I guess, if there's like the fundamentals of the battle royale, and if this is like counterproductive to the fundamentals, there could be a big issue here. So I hear what you're saying on that. That's a good point.
But so again, as they said, even in these notes, take these with a grain of salt. They're, they could be somewhat leaked, and
they're leaks.
They were abandoned.
They're leaks. Yeah, who knows?
But next up, very, very interesting new feature, which apparently would be borrowed from a game which I've really wanted to play, but it's kind of a more hardcore first-person shooter multiplayer. That is Rainbow Six Siege. And this new feature, they're calling it Interrogation. And the way that they're describing it is, it's not yet been confirmed, obviously, but it would be a situation where you down an enemy, and then you go up to their down body, and you can basically perform what they're calling like an execution like style animation, which they interrogating that player. And then by doing so, it will reveal like information about the location of their teammates.
That is weird. So you can like trap an enemy and then you perform this. I guess it's probably like the same mechanic as an execution, or like, what are they downed? And then you go up to them when they're down, and then you can like perform this, and then it gives you like a UAV sense on your TAC map where they are. That just seems like I don't know. It seems weird to me. It seems like a lot. That seems like a lot. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be the guy that's down, that's getting interrogated left and right. And is there like, do you have, do you have like a barometer of how much like torture and interrogation you can take, before that you give up this information? Because I'd like to think that I would never give it up.
I mean, this thing is a fucking can of worms about like so many questions more than answers about the idea of this. Like you said, well, first off, I just think it's hilarious to imagine like they're passing around ideas at the old Activision meeting, like, oh, we're gonna add this interrogation feature, and then you realizing like, well, I'm gonna be the one fucking getting interrogated more than anyone fucking here. So awesome. Because when we see a feature like that, as amateurs, we know, like you said, we're gonna be the motherfuckers. You can see I have a screenshot that was included as this leak. I think it's from one of these other games, but yeah, there's like hold X to interrogate, and then they're going to torture the fuck out of my character when I'm already humiliated. I'm already downed. I'm already by myself, clearly, like if they have the time to do this.
Oh, your teammates are going to just be yelling at you to kill yourself. Kill yourself, kill yourself. You're like, no, I can take it.
Yeah, don't give up the info. So, I don't know. And I think, again, like to me, there's no like risk reward here or big trade-offs I'm reading about that are like wrinkles in the game. It's more just like, here's a new thing either you have to do or that you can do. So I don't know about this. Again, so far, like 2 out of the 2 leaks I'm hoping are not true.
That's not a good sign.
I was so excited when I saw leaks about Warzone, and then let's go on now to the next thing. And again, this was all leaked by Tom Henderson, who's a huge Call of Duty leaker. So some validity, to where this is coming from. And it was some guy, Nero Cinemas, like posted the video going over this, and he kind of corroborated this. So the next thing is armor vests. And they said they'll be making a return. However, they appear to be a hybrid of the armor system so there was an old Call of Duty called Blackout, which kind of was like the first iteration of Warzone. I believe it was a Battle Royale version. It was way more raw, but they said this will kind of be borrowing from that. And you'll need to find a tiered armor vest in order to even equip plates from the beginning. And they're not just going to have like, oh, you have a vest you can throw plates on. Apparently, there's going to be like tiers of them. So like a tier 1 to tier 2 to max tier 3, with each tier allowing you to equip 1 more armor plate.
So how will this affect the TTK?
That's what I think is interesting. It sounds like I would imagine it's going to be slowing down, but on the same flip side, like there's going to be this weird kind of gulf in the middle of like, well, if you're a fully plated up player and you find some poor bastard that doesn't have any satchel, like it's going to be fucking over.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, it's how hard are these things to find? Are there only a few of them? Can you like? I don't know. It seems it's kind of scary to me. I'm not good at finding the satchels, and you're not good at finding armor plates, so this could be bad for both of us.
Yeah, it's just more ways that they're going to stack the game against me. I know anytime I go into a fight, they're going to have like the best armor satchel. I'm going to be scrapping together to get like a quarter of a fucking single plate on. So again, number 3 of leaks, I don't want to go too negative here, but not super excited.
0 for 3. 0 for 3.
0 for 3. But before we move on to the next leak, because there are more things to cover here. This is, as I said, a faucet that needs to get the plumber in town. But first off, we got to dive into paying appreciation to our next partner that has a product we have talked about that can change your health give you more energy, optimize your immune system, and make it simple on you. And that is Athletic Greens. And with one delicious scoop of AG1, you'll be absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All of the things.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't say I'm the healthiest guy. I wouldn't say that I have like a history of being insanely healthy. But if you can just do one good thing for yourself a day, and you make a routine out of it, baby, that's all you need with today's science and this AG1 formula. They make it easy, one scoop a day. Give me a box of that.
All right, yes. And it's worth mentioning that AG1 contains less than 1 gram of sugar. There's no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial things that'll get absorbed. And it still tastes good. So please, to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/emerging. That is EMERGING. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/emerging. Go there, make a purchase, and you can take one step towards taking ownership over your health and picking up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Do it.
Next up, we'll be moving on to mention that support for the Warzone Amateur Hour is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. The Performance Package has arrived, and it is a game changer. Inside the package, you will find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, the Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies.
The travel bag was so critical when we got our package, pun intended. It was so fantastic. I have like my normal toiletry bag. Then they send this like really nice custom leather toiletry bag just for the Manscaped products. And I'm bringing it everywhere I go. And I'm pulling that bad boy out everywhere I go. I love their boxers, as I say, every read we do. First sponsor, love them to death. Great products. I really have nothing else to say there. I get out there and buy yourself. We've gotten a lot of great feedback too. A lot of people have purchased their stuff, and we are so grateful for that, as are they. And I just keep that, shaved ball train going, baby.
That's right. And just like on the outset of the episode, when you heard the excitement about the cowboy talking about his Cooper carbine, I can feel the same excitement as he talks about his ball trimmer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're out there and you're interested in, purchasing some Manscaped products, we have some great news for you. You can get 20% off and free shipping by using the code WAH at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free worldwide shipping at manscaped.com. And please use the code WAH as in Warzone Amateur Hour.
Yeah.
Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Use the code, people.
All right, so let's move on to our next leak here, which this one I think may be a little more interesting, maybe not so negative, a little more in the neutral territory, maybe perhaps even intrigued. Something that's very familiar to those out there that play battle royales or that play online survival kind of PvP games, PUBG, Escape from Tarkov, DayZ, if you're one of those folks. And that is a bag system they claim is in early development for Warzone 2. And essentially, it's similar to Escape from Tarkov, where players can add ammo, kill streaks, and weapons to their bag. And again, similar to satchels, there will be different tiers of them. So different bag tiers allow you to have more storage space, which a cowboy is familiar with from H1Z1 with the old backpacks that could hold different things.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. So there's going to be something similar to that. Interesting.
That's what the leak claims. And so there'll essentially be an amount of slots, and each, ammo takes up 1 slot. Kill streaks will take up to 4 slots. Assault rifle, 6 slots. Sniper rifle, 8 slots. And a tier 1 bag, they claim, has 10 slots. A tier 2 bag has 15. And a tier 3 has 20. They're even claiming as part of this that you'll be able to hold 3 primary weapons potentially. So what are your thoughts on the potential for a bag system coming to Warzone 2?
I'm not really a bag man. I don't know. I don't know. The bag scares me a little bit. Seems like, to be honest, I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed with all of these announcements and all of these leaks. It seems like this is like a totally new game that I'm going to have to learn here. And I feel like after 2.5 years or more, however long it's been, I'm just kind of figuring this one out. So to be honest, I'm a little overwhelmed. I like the equipment situation the way it is. I don't know if this is necessary, but again, I could just be speaking out of fear. What do you think?
It's a mixed bag for me. I mean,
funny.
For one, like, I'm curious. It sounds like cash maybe isn't part of this new system, because if you have a bag where you can hold all this stuff, and you do your loadouts through these like little challenges, I don't know. And I don't know if it's, where is the trade-off? All this is just going to make the rich richer, the sweat lords sweatier, and the old fucking, Timmy's, the old Davids over here, like, they're just making a rock sack smaller. Now we got to go find a sack of rocks instead of our one that we could hurl at Galore. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this is just one more thing, one more task on my fucking list of shit I have to do before I can feel confident that I'm not at a major disadvantage. I can't believe that thought just crystallized, but that is exactly it for what I'm feeling about this.
Wow. You know what I just realized too is that your thought, you just kind of mentioned like maybe there's no money. Well, that would, coincide with the idea that these strongholds are the only places you can get loadouts. You can't buy a loadout because there's no money. So you have to go to these places and get them. So, I mean, maybe you're onto something there, but I hear you on the disadvantage aspect and point of view. I'm trying not to think about it like that because it hurts my brain just to go there right now.
Well, that was number 4. And number 5 on the leak list is, I've seen some, good reception to this one, but it's pure, to me, seems like pure nostalgia. But it's the introduction, or we could say reintroduction, of what they call pro perks, which you as a non-seasoned, Call of Duty player from the past, I believe it was Modern Warfare 2 they first introduced the idea of pro perks. So the idea was, in the multiplayer games, you build a loadout. That's what you play with time in, time out. You don't have to like get a loadout to equip it. And so everyone is running perks in every round. Well, they introduced originally it was Scavenger. Well, now they had a thing where, when you first start out in the game, you can equip Scavenger. But if you run Scavenger enough and complete these like little sub challenges, you can unlock what's called Scavenger Pro, which is like, the original Scavenger would just pick up ammo. You unlock Scavenger Pro. Now your player can pick up ammo plus grenades. I don't remember if that's accurate, but that's kind of the idea, is that you can essentially, there's like a base level perk, and then you have to work towards unlocking the pro version of it.
Is it an aggregate, like as a profile aggregate over time, like weeks and weeks, or are we talking about like one session, one game? This is over a longer period, right?
That's hard to say. Yeah, in the old COD, it was, it depends on how much a day session, but it was just several hours of like grinding, like, get sleight of hand pro. You had to like kill, let's say 100 players. I should look this shit up.
It's like unlocking weapons in a battle pass, essentially, or whatever.
Yes, it's similar to that. It's like adding an attachment slot to perks, essentially.
Wow. So we're even at I feel like that marginalizes the amateur players even more, because the casual guy that wants to hop in can't get the meta, can't get it's not even the meta at this point. That's what's now. He can't even get the perks to put him in a position to succeed. I don't know how I feel about that. The divide is getting larger and larger with these suggestions.
That's, to me, like, it's not, I feel like they're going for more depth, but to me, it's more just like, more of a cliff for you to fucking fall off of and die, unless you're really grinding it out here purely in this game. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're going to be okay because we play all the time, but I just don't want, our audience base here, the amateurs, we want our audience to grow. We want more people to play the game. I don't want this to push people away.
I mean, yeah, but we're honest. We always are going to be on the level, and we want pushback. I know last week, or maybe it was last week, we talked about we were very dissatisfied with Operation Monarch. We had some Discord users that was like, "Hey, fuck off. We like Monarch," and that's cool, man. And speaking of, how people feel about this pro perks thing, again, based on Twitter, we're definitely in the minority here because Modern Warzone, a very popular Warzone account, said, "Do you want pro perks to return in Modern Warfare 2?" I guess that's not for Warzone 2, perhaps just Modern Warfare 2. And they did a poll function, and there was 12,000 votes. And the results were 81.9% said yes.
Wow.
So we're part of the 18.1.
Wow. Do we do votes on our Twitter account? Are we getting 12,000 votes, or we're just curious if we're stacking up to them?
We haven't done a poll yet, but I'm sure we would skew that direction.
We get there? Yeah. Okay, cool. Just checking. Right on.
But that said, there was a verified account. I'm not that familiar. He claims on his bio to be the best Warzone sniper. His name is Metaphor.
Yeah, you come at me, bro.
And I had to I had to purely agree with his response to this, which he said, unpopular opinion, but they are just kind of pointless and people just want them for nostalgia. But they could just combine them into one perk and not give you bad stuff to work with for the first, let's say, 55 levels. LOL.
Yeah. I mean, okay. And that was an unpopular. I guess maybe you didn't read the comments, but people were like, "Oh, you're an idiot. Whatever. Fuck you."
I guess he only had 5 replies, and a few people basically replied agreeing. One guy said, "Nah, pro perks are really good. It shows how much you use the perk. The more you use the perk, the faster you'll get it to pro. So basically 2 in 1."
Interesting. I don't know.
So that's kind of the major leaks in terms of new functionalities, new things. I mean, we talked about weeks ago, like they promised, huge innovation in the new Warzone, and we theorized what could it be. We talked about like a reloading maybe overhaul, or like I forget what else we had mentioned, but this is maybe where they're going. But again, it's leaks, so take it at the grain of salt. But a lot of the leaks have been true. Final verdict, kind of scared here, but definitely again now more and more, excited to hear what's coming in Modern Warfare 2, because I feel like so much of this stuff, like, we're gonna have an answer.
Yeah, I'll speak for myself. I always preach when they make changes or try things, not irreversible changes, but like reversible changes. They try things. I think that's good for the game, playing around, trying things, but with this much, and again, like maybe one of these, 2 of these are true. If all of this is true, this is going to be like a very different functioning game and different style of gameplay that's like really impacting, like you said, the fundamentals of the BR that Warzone presents. So I don't know. It's hard to feel real conclusive about it because again, it's all leaks. Maybe some of it's true. Maybe 1 out of the 4. I don't know. I'm not gonna like lose sleep over this, but it's interesting to discuss, and it's interesting to see the community's feedback on some of these things. But I'm assuming that those people are a lot better than us, so they have they can do it. They can handle anything, which unfortunately we can't.
Yeah, or they got the time to they'll grind every goddamn perk to be pro.
Yeah, it's all streamers and shit that are, yeah, exactly.
So I can't wait to get that best vest and just shit on these little nerds hunting around like us for 1 plate. But that said, there was one final little drop from this leak that was mentioned by somebody who claims they had their hands on kind of the new Warzone even. And they claim they tried to slide cancel in the new game, but it was virtually impossible. So it's potentially seeming like slide canceling could be gone.
Did they play the new game? How do they know this? How does that?
That's what they claim. They claim they played an early build of it.
Why aren't we getting that access? Who the hell is it? Who's doing this?
I don't know, but we just want to be involved, whether it's on the legal side or the storytelling side or the leaking side. Shit, we'll be black hat hackers, dude. We'll put on a fake mustache. We'll go into the server room, plug in the little doodad, fucking send that to Mr. Robot and his team so we can put these leaks on the Warzone Amateur. I don't know. I'm just riffing.
Did you say on the legal side? What are we, lawyers?
Oh, well, we talked about helping them navigate this whole, merger and all acquisition, and their culture needs to be cleaned up. I consider that legal.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely consider myself a lawyer, not legally a lawyer, but I definitely consider myself of legal descent mentally.
Yeah, I think exactly. So I was just taking you. I knew you would be confident. Like,
Oh, okay, all right.
you're not a lawyer, but you're basically a lawyer. So
I haven't passed the bar, but I haven't taken it, so there's that.
you haven't failed the bar either. So
I haven't failed it yet, which I could say is probably better than some lawyers out there, so there's that.
all right, well, let's circle back. What if it is true they're taking out slide canceling? Where do you stand on this as a potential thing?
I'm curious because I feel like the movement mechanic of the game has become such a it's such a style thing. It's like how you move around, how you're using the slide cancel function is integral to gameplay. I mean, it's not just like moving faster at this point. It's like it's so much more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a style thing. It's like a movement. It's like how you're flowing through the game. It'd be a really different place if they got rid of that. I mean, and if it was just like tack sprinting and then like slow walking would be, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of, now that I've figured out slide cancel and I use it as a movement style, I kind of like it. And I think it's fun and it adds a different dynamic to your movement, which is like fundamentally like one of the main parts of the game is how you move around. I don't know. I don't think it's hard for me to imagine it not being there, I guess, because it's all that I know. I don't have the context of playing other video games where that wasn't a thing and it, you know what I mean? I guess I'm open to it, but at the same time, I'm not upset with it now. Well, what do you think?
Well, before I answer myself, I got to say, let's say, gun to your head, you're on the board, you're part of the Activision, whatever. They're going around, they're taking a vote. Do we keep slide canceling? Do we get rid of it? The vote time comes to you. What is your vote?
Well, okay, so first question is how long have I been on the board? And two, is my job in jeopardy? Because I'd like to read the room.
Oh my God, I'm not getting into the backstory. Let's gun to your head. We need an answer or he's throwing you out the fucking 65-story building of the high rise.
Well, first of all, I would not be on the board of a company that, put gun to your head to make a decision. Just for the record, I'd like to I work for more humane individuals. But I think I would keep it. I would keep it. Yeah, I would keep slide cancel. What about you if I put a gun in your mouth?
Easy. I'm going to say, oh, get rid of that fucking shit. Yeah, get rid of it. I'm fine with them getting rid of slide canceling. To me, it's...
Okay. All right.
It's kind of bizarre to me that it's in the game. It's like, oh, if you want to move the best, you need to actually exploit the movement system by doing this bizarre like sequence of buttons over and over and over again. To me, it's like, why not just refine the movement system so that I don't have to do that? I don't think it's necessarily a skill that you can like execute slide canceling better than someone else. It just means you're fucking weird little nerd with your little twitchies. So like,
but I disagree with that. Being able to execute the slide cancel movement properly and moving quicker and like evasive maneuvering with that is a skill of the game. Are you saying it shouldn't be? Because it is. It definitely is a skill of the game.
I guess it's just, to me, like, I don't know. I just think it's weird that you have to incorporate a slide in order to move faster. We've talked about this. I think like moving in weird ways in the game should impact your aiming and stuff more than it does. Like if you slide cancel, that's fine. Okay, maybe keep that in, but don't have it to be like there's no downside to it. Like I can whip my gun out even faster or get to this place, as opposed to using the core mechanic in the game, which is supposed to be tactical sprint, and you're supposed to have a finite amount of it. Like it kind of renders a perk like double time fucking useless because I don't know. To me, it's just like, it's weird the way it's incorporated. I guess maybe I shouldn't have said it's not a skill, but to me, like the fact is that's the way you unlock like moving is this weird little, like, again, it's like a glitching the game is weird.
Well, it is a glitch, right? Because you're sliding and then canceling the slide, and then that like revamps your tack sprint. So I guess it's an exploit, right? At the end of the day, is that what that is? It's like a speed exploit, the slide cancel.
I guess, yeah. And I don't remember when it was first introduced, but in my old times playing COD, like nobody was getting fucking that loco. But again, maybe it's a new wrinkle. I don't know. Maybe I'm just this old frail man frightened of change.
Tron Senior. I can't believe you called yourself that earlier. Tron Senior.
Well, that said, the gray hairs are coming in because we've been waiting for this new Warzone now, almost going on 3 years here. Still not even official, but the leaks are now coming. What was conceptual, what was a thing of our imagination is slowly converging, into reality, conjuring into reality, I should say. So it's coming. And if this is the direction we're going, it's kind of, you touched on it, it's a little scary.
It's coming, baby. Yeah, so when are we, what is the timeline? Any updates to the timeline? Any leaks on that? Are we still looking at later this year?
All right, get a fucking piece of paper, write it down. You asked me this like 5 times. All right, Modern Warfare.
Well, no. I was just asking, was there any updates in the leaks? Was there any new information there? I'm not asking for old information, but we all know, but if you don't mind reminding the fellows that maybe haven't listened to older podcasts, when is this supposed to happen?
No concrete timelines for either, but strongly rumored that new Modern Warfare will be coming out in the holiday season, probably around November, October, at the end of this year. They believe it'll be announced next month in June 2022. And then they're saying Warzone 2 would launch shortly after in the first quarter or so of 2023. And again, there will not be a standalone game for all of 2023. So we're going to have that open kind of calendar year to roll this fucker out.
Yeah, hopefully Warzone 3 holds its momentum for all of 2023, but we will see.
Warzone 2.
Warzone 2, 2023.
That is right. And that is going to do it for us this week on the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast. So much of this week was, theoretical, prophesizing, theorizing, feeling it out. But we want to know from you, how do you all feel about these leaks? We talked about, I think, 5 or 6 core ones as the loadout system. They're calling it strongholds, the bag system, the satchel system, the interrogation system, and then the potential for no slide canceling. We want to hear from you. How do you all feel? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's bad? What is this Black Ops shit? Maybe someone can explain. I know I could just look up a YouTube video, but I'm not that well versed, and this is a Call of Duty podcast, so we should probably know that.
Yeah. I don't know.
But we have some exciting announcements coming up that we will be getting into as we get settled here moving into this year. As I said, Tron's going to be on a bit more, trying to squad up with some of y'all listeners out there. But as always, we're going to be talking to you next week with some more exciting news, I'm sure. So until then,
good luck in the gulag.